Hey guys, I had something really shift for me in my experience with my heart yesterday, and I just wanted to share that with you today. I hope that you're all doing well. About once or twice a year, I get really heart sick. So heart sick, I feel like I'm dying. It's like once or twice a year I go through just a major heart clearing, like a major heart purification. And it feels like there's so much coming up, and it's taking every bit of my life force to be with it and to clear it and to dissolve it, that I have no energy for anything else. I seriously get ill. I get deeply heart sick. I get so ill that I can barely move. And the first times you go through this, you're convinced something horrible has gone wrong, or that something is horribly wrong. But then you come to the other side of it and you're like, oh, I feel so much more clear in my heart space. I feel so much more like what I am, love. I feel more open. I feel more spacious. You feel less guarded in your heart. You just feel all the healing effects of the purification when you get to the other side. So because I've been through this enough times, I know what's happening. It doesn't make it any easier in the moment, and the mind still is freaking out and drawing its conclusions. But I just wanted to say that in case you also go through these heart clearings. It's twice a year for me, maybe sometimes once a year, or it's just like a major heart purification. It takes days, maybe even a week or longer. And it just feels like I'm birthing something out of my heart. It feels so heavy. It feels excruciating. Sometimes I don't really even want to eat or drink water. It's like a full-on heart sickness, and this is just the divine, removing what is stale, what is old. This is the divine removing built up pain and hurt. And so, it can be a lot to digest. It can be very difficult. But one thing that really helped me, and it really came through yesterday in my experience, was I stopped trying to feel better. I realized on subtle subconscious levels that I was going into my heart space to try to feel better, to try to move the pain through, to try to do something, and it was coming to try to do something to end the pain. And it was coming from a loving place, actually, because I was just trying to be there with the pain. But I realized I was trying to be there in this really I'm going to be with this. I'm going to really be with this. And it was causing more of a contraction. And my heart was stop. No, this is not what I want. It was coming with this kind of underlying force and pressure. I was bringing more pressure to my heart that was already going through so much, because it's just been releasing lots of pain. And something in me noticed that yesterday, because when we go to our heart with that kind of energy, it's the opposite of softness. It's the opposite of tender, right? And it's probably just going to shut down more or throw more of a fit, kind of. It's going to just get angry. It's not what I need. So yesterday I noticed that was happening, and how my heart just kept, kind of rejecting that approach. And I just let myself feel bad. I just let myself be all the way sick. I said, you know what, I'm just going to be sick then. I'm just going to feel horrible. And I just surrendered to that kind of movement. And it was just so liberating. And it didn't take the pain away. The pain is still here. I'm still going through the purge. But it did take a big chunk of suffering away. Like this chunk of wishing it was different, of trying to fix it, of trying to move it through. I mean, just this chunk that wasn't in alignment with what is. It's like sometimes what is that we're sick, is that we're ill, is that we're purifying something, is that a chakra center is going through a major clearing. And it's just going to hurt, and it's just going to be pain, and there's nothing that we can do to change that. But we can maybe change our approach to what's happening, and we can maybe stop being in resistance to it. And I noticed how I was going to my heart. It was in subtle resistance to what was happening, or maybe not so subtle. And finally yesterday, something just broke away in me, where I was finally able to just surrender to what is more, and just be like, oh yeah, I'm just going to be sick and ride this out sick. And that's just the way it's going to be. And I felt like something kind of released in my heart, where the energy started flowing more, where my heart could feel that like I was being with it, not from a place of trying to do anything with it, but just because I just was there with it. I was just there for the sickness finally. I was just there to be sick with it. I was like, fine, we'll just be sick. However long it takes, we'll just be ill. Yeah, I felt like I felt some life force free up. I felt some Kundalini move through. Sometimes that's what pain does. It just breaks us down. It just breaks our will down. It breaks us down where we think we're the healer. It breaks us down anywhere where we are resisting what is. It's like pain just dissolves chunks of our egoic will in a way. It just dissolves chunks of where we think we should be in control. And that's what the pain was doing to me yesterday. It's like she, meaning the Divine Mother, through the pain in my heart space, was just breaking me down. It was just like, until I finally got to this place where I was like, okay, I can't do this anymore. I can't heal my heart. I can't fight this sickness. And it was like kind of a relief, like, fuck, finally I was able to see that part that was doing that so intensely. And it was just a relief to just finally merge with what is. Just be like, I'm just going to be all the way sick, and I'm just going to lay here, and I'm going to do the best I can to eat some food and drink some water and brush my teeth and take a shower, do all the essentials. But ultimately I felt this kind of inner surrender of like, I'm just going to give myself to this, and I'm going to stop trying to change it. And it's like, this is how she really deconstructs us and really shows us like we're not the healer, and really removes our agenda from this whole awakening process. Like, our agenda is, I'm going to go in, I'm going to be with my heart, and I'm going to feel through it all, and then I'm going to heal, and then I'm going to, whatever the agenda is, right? Where when we come into our wounded areas with that agenda, they're just going to reject it. They're going to feel it. They're going to say no, and they're going to clench tighter, and then they're going to get kind of angry. And because our hurting areas, our wounds, they actually want the parent that's like, oh, I'll just be sick. I'll lay here and feel this with you until the end of time. I'll just be sick with you. You know, they want the tenderness, the softness. And that's what the divine does. She like breaks us down into this softness that we are, into this unconditional love that we are. Because unconditional love falls in love with everything. It falls in love with every moment. It falls in love with the sickness. I felt that happen. It sounds odd to say out loud, but like I felt myself fall in love with being heartsick. I was like, actually, I can fall in love. I can love this. I can love being heartsick. Oh, yummy, heartsick. Getting some chills saying that. And I felt that yesterday. Finally, I was just like, I just don't even need this to change. Of course, there's egoic preferences going on in the background here and there, but they became much less subtle, or much more subtle, much more quiet. And there was just this love for what was here. There was just this love for being sick, for just becoming one with the purification process that's happening within me. And there was like this honoring of it, like this respect for it. This like, oh yeah, this, whatever this is, we could say God, the Divine Mother, the Kundalini, whatever your word is, peace, love. It's like this knows best. And this is having me be really sick right now. This is having me release lots and lots of pain through my heart space right now. It knows when to do it. It has, like the divine has perfect timing. The timing might not always align with what our ego thinks should be going on. Maybe our ego is in a story of where it's trying to build itself up. And boop, 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 I want to be this big, whatever. And that's totally innocent and fine and beautiful. But it's really impossible to be doing that shape when the divine is trying to like kind of break you down. When the divine is trying to bring you into a bow. When the divine is actually, when we're doing that, the divine, sometimes she's going to come in and deconstruct that whole thing. And she just wants us so simple. She wants us so simple. Because that's how we can serve her best. It's like we can serve her best when we're in a bow. When we've been humbled into surrender. When our own agenda has been sort of burnt up and discarded. When we are just one with what is. It's like that's where the peace is. That's where true peace is. True peace is in unification with what is. True peace isn't when I get that, when I feel this way, when that person loves me. You know what I mean? Whatever the story is of like, I'm going to feel peace when. That's actually not peace. There's not peace waiting there for you, like your mind thinks there is. Peace is not fulfilling your mind's projections of what will bring you peace. That's just like an infinite chasing of something that's never where you think it is, or where your mind thinks it's going to be. Peace is here. Peace is always ever present in what is. It's like peace happens when we're not fighting what is. That's when peace comes into our experience. And I wasn't feeling much peace the last few days because I was in an unconscious battle with what is. I was like, no, I shouldn't be heartsick right now. I just moved to a new place. I should be feeling this way because I need this to happen and this to happen for me to feel good. And then the divine came in and said, actually, I'm the boss. And sometimes it takes days for us to be in this state of suffering and pain for us to realize that we are unconsciously resisting the divine's plan for us. And that's how, like I've been talking about, that's how she breaks our egoic will down. That's how she breaks the mind down. That's how she breaks us down in all the places where we fight, where we say it shouldn't be this way, where we are not in alignment with what is. I could feel that happening to me the last few days. She's literally dissolved so much ego from my system the last few days. It's like she knows exactly how to do it. It's like the ego can't surrender itself, guys. If it were that easy, we'd all just be walking around like avatars, right? The ego cannot surrender itself. It's like you don't know how to surrender your ego. Because if you did, your idea of how to do it is your ego's idea. It's like only the divine knows how to break your ego down. And that's what she's been doing to me, just breaking my ego down. so that I can be more of what I actually am, which is just love, which is just this moment, which is just so simple. It's just so simple. And thank God too, right? Thank God, because it's only when the ego is deconstructed and dissolved that we actually, like I've been saying, feel this peace, feel this oneness with God. She's just trying to get rid of everything that's in between you and her, that's veiling your perceptions of oneness, of that's like kind of coming in between, experiencing anything that's in between you and experiencing God directly. Anything that's in between experiencing God directly for you, she wants to dissolve for you. It's like a blessing. She wants you to experience yourself directly, like what you actually are directly. And it's hard to do it when we have a bunch of egoic programming like coming up, and so many people, and myself included at times, we just experience ourselves as an egoic program, as the mind. And it's like that's so small in comparison to what we actually are. And so the pain is about, she's trying to help us release all of that stuff so that we can experience ourselves as the bigness that we are, as the divine being that we actually are, as the loving nature that we actually are. The pain is her just trying to release us from everything that we're not. She's just breaking down all the false stories, all the false selves. Anything in resistance to God, she's trying to help liberate us from it so that we can actually experience ourselves fully in human form on earth. It's like, what a blessing, what a gift. It's a hell of a path to walk, but after a while, it's like it's the only path worth walking. It's like we no longer want to walk the path of trying to fulfill our mind's projections of what's going to bring us happiness and peace and love. It's like we see through it. It's like that's not it. What's it is surrendering to this moment, giving our life to this moment, giving our life to God. It's like that's it. That's it. All right, I think I've talked long enough. If this video helps you, the other videos help you, yeah, donation links in the description box and probably the comments too. Those really help. Other than that, thanks for being here. Sending you all so much love. See you in the next one. Namaste.